A car hits a couple on a motorcycle from behind and ends up trapping the driver. I'm going to tell you what he did wrong and give you some safety tips. Stay tuned. Let's go for a ride. Subscribe today. Make sure you're wearing the gear to stay safe out there. And if you want to get my gear, which is awesome, like my favorite ultra lightweight carbon fiber helmet that comes with an automatic tint shield, my motovlog camera, airbag vest to help keep you safe, shorty gloves, all my gear, I have links in the description and comment section of this video. In Myrtle Beach, that car hits this couple on the motorcycle from the rear. The passenger flies forward head first. She's extremely lucky if she didn't sustain any head injuries, and that's what usually happens to a rider when they get hit from the rear. They go head first into the ground. That's why you definitely want to have a helmet on, which she does not. Unfortunately, the driver of the motorcycle is trapped underneath the car, and they're trying to figure out how to rescue this rider. And the driver of the car actually tries to back the car up, which can be really bad, because if the car becomes free from the motorcycle and drops onto the rider, man, that can cause some serious hurt and damage to the rider. So it's a good thing that that car did not back up off of that motorcycle. In this instance, you do not want to try to help remove the rider from underneath the car. You want to call the police and see what the next step is, because if you try to remove that rider and he gets hurt further, you can be held liable. So that's something to keep in mind. As you can see there, the cops kind of instruct everybody to help them lift the car up to help dislodge the rider trapped underneath the car. Fortunately, they did rescue the trapped rider, but I don't have any further details on this incident, but I can tell you what these riders did wrong. First off, they didn't have on any gear. They should definitely have on a helmet and protective gear, and especially an airbag vest, which could have helped the trapped rider and also the passenger. When she went head first, that would have helped stabilize her neck. And if she had a helmet on, obviously that would help protect her noggin. I don't know if she sustained any injuries or not, but it looked pretty bad. Also, I don't recommend riding with a passenger, especially when you have a female passenger and if she maybe has an attractive rear end. That can be distracting to a car driver from behind, where they can get target fixation on her behind and forget the brake and then run into the back of the bike. And there's also many other reasons why I don't recommend riding with a passenger. Here's how an airbag vest could have helped those riders out. When you're ejected from the bike, the airbag vest deploys and it helps protect your spine, vital organs, helps stabilize your neck, basically helps keep you from having a real effed up day. And I have a link to the airbag vest that I wear in the description and comment section of this video. And here are some other tips that can help keep you safe. Oftentimes a passenger is not wearing proper gear. They're not wearing the full, leather pants, leather jacket, helmet, gloves, everything. And I see a lot of riders with their women out here wearing, wearing shorts out here, Daisy Dukes, and that can cause a distraction to car drivers behind you. They may be looking at your woman's derriere and run into the back of you. You know what I'm saying? That's something you gotta be real careful of. You don't want to have one of these cars have target fixation on your hot girlfriend on the back of your bike. Getting nailed from the back by a car from your rear, rear end collision, that scares, I think, most riders out there. That's like the number one thing they're probably afraid of, is getting nailed from the back, where they're most vulnerable. I'm gonna give you some tips here as far as cars behind you. The tips for it. You need to pay attention to these cars, the characteristics of the cars behind you and their proximity to you. If you see them like weaving, if you see them speeding, coming up to you real fast, you need to get away from these people, man. You need to get on the gas, get over here. If you have to, change lanes, let them pass, or pull. If it's a single lane, get over here in a parking lot, let them do anything to get them away from you, man. A lot of riders don't pay attention to the characteristics of these cars, and you should be. You need to treat each and every one of these cars as though they are going to hit you from the back, they're going to pull out in front of you, and they're going to cross the double yellow and hit you. Don't ride scared. Don't ride scared. I see so many new riders out here and they get all timid and they're looking around and they're just scared. because so many people told them how dangerous riding a motorcycle is. And don't ride that way, guys. Ride with some confidence. Now, you want to ride highly alert, looking at everything, but you don't want to ride all scared. Because, you know, when you have that fear out there, you're actually going to make it come to fruition because you're so worried about it. But stay focused on these cars and everything, but really don't be so scared. And if you want less anxiety, get out here in Ohio country. My favorite is just riding out here in this beautiful Ohio country out here. There's no cars out here. Like they say, if you don't want to get bit by a shark, then stay out of the ocean. You know, if you don't want to get nailed by a car, try to avoid riding in the city where there's a lot of cars. Cars making a left-hand turn in front of you. You know, that's common. Cars, they say they don't see you, they pull out, and you nail the car, you end up getting ejected and having a real effed up day. You got to ride, like I said, as though you're going to be attacked out here. You know, should something happen, you'll be ready because you're expecting it. If you're riding around here without a care in the world, then you're a sitting duck, man, because you're not going to be ready. As far as preventing cars from pulling out on you, you know, that are getting ready to make a left turn, you need to pay attention to them before you approach them. You need to look them in the eyes. You know, see if make sure they're looking at you. If they're not looking at you, you need to get their attention. Hit the horn. You know, yeah, I'm here, baby. And be ready to react if they're not gonna. If you still can't get their attention, if you see their car inching forward, and also pay attention to the car. If it's inching forward, it's a high chance this car is gonna pull out in front of you, man. They do stupid stuff, man. See that? Look at that. You gotta stay sharp out here, boy. That's where this airbag vest comes into play. It's extremely dangerous out here. These cars here, say they're texting or something and they veer over into your lane, and a lot of you riders out there believe that you should be riding, you know, left of center, right here where you're most visible. They tell you that you're most visible in this position, but I will tell you guys, if you stay in this position, you are playing Russian roulette. I've told you that in many videos in the past, because you have little reaction time. Should this car right here immediately cross over, you're done. As where over here you have a little better chance because you can see them gradually, you know, veering over, and you can immediately crank the throttle, or even if you have to bail out over here to the right, do whatever you have to do to save your life. But if you're hanging over here all the time, man, don't count on cars seeing you, because oftentimes they don't see us out here. You see, I'm out here talking with my hands. Nobody looks at me. Nobody's paying attention, man. One of the biggest areas you have to be concerned with is when you're getting ready to make a turn out of a street or a parking lot. This is a high-risk area of getting T-boned. And I'll tell you guys, I almost nearly got T-boned. The mistake that I made was that I stayed here, I waited for a while, but I didn't wait for the road to be completely clear. I saw a car getting ready to make a turn. I went ahead and made the turn because the car was getting ready to make the turn, but there was a car hiding by the side of it that was out of my sight line, and it came shooting out of nowhere when I made that turn and damn near T-boned me. Luckily he hit the brakes, and I froze up like a little. But it was such a shock. I wasn't expecting that. But what I should have did is I should have waited until the road was completely clear. Panicking. That is a huge cause of so many unnecessary accidents out here, because so many people, they panic and they hit all front brake. And if they don't have a bike that has combined ABS that activates both the front and rear brake, they hit off front brake and they lose control of their bike. And they crash unnecessarily. I've seen a lot of, even seasoned riders I've seen do this. Definitely want to practice 70% front brake, 30% rear. Now I know some people will tell you different percentages. Do it all the time. Tip. Do your gear change and braking before you approach a corner. As a new rider, do not change gears or brake mid-corner. This could cause you to crash. Also, make sure to keep your eyes focused on where you want to go, because your bike will go where you are looking. Look through the turn, not just at the apex. Don't look in front of you. Instead, look ahead of you. You know, one thing that noobs, the mistake they make is when they're hitting the twisties, hitting corners, that they brake in the corners. And unless you know how to do trail braking, you want to avoid braking in the corners. You want to do all your braking before corners. Can be very dangerous if you're looking over here and it's going to a place you don't want to go, because your bike's going to follow to where you're looking a lot of times. And that's what's called target fixation. You're here and you're looking over here and you won't even realize, but your bike will probably gradually go to where you're looking. You want to always look to where you're going. That's where your bike's going to go. And you're making that turn. See, there's a turn coming up here. I want to look to where I'm going, to the right. That's where my bike is going to go. If I'm looking over here, it's a tendency for my bike to follow to where I'm looking, which you don't want to do. Like I said, that's target fixation. If you stay fixated on a target and your bike's going there, and that can get you into trouble. That's only happened to me one time, and it happens to the best of riders out there, guys. I mean, it's happened to racers out there. You just get fixated, especially depending on how fast you're going. That's why you really don't want to be going super fast out here on the streets, because it leaves you with very little reaction time. I highly recommend that you wear high-vis gear, because it's going to help you be seen better out here on the streets. Some people say it doesn't make a difference, but I will tell you personally, since I've changed to high-vis gear, I get a lot of looks from people that may think I look like a nerd out here wearing this type of these colors, but that's okay. I don't care what they think. I just want them to see me, and I get more looks with it. And if I get more looks, they're looking out for me, and it's going to help keep me safe. But anyways, guys, leave a comment below. Let's talk about it. Don't forget to subscribe to my All In One Motorcycle channel. Thumbs up. Check out my playlist for new riders and popular videos. Don't forget to comment and subscribe.